Hey, this is Mike Barnes, a financial first responder. What up? I am back on the East Coast, baby! Hey, I was talking earlier about some decision-making processes that you need to do. I'll probably post both videos today. Ooh, can't talk. And I started thinking, I'm like, the people in the community, and one of these days, we're going to have thousands upon thousands of first responders. And for y'all that don't know what a first responder is, this is the person that I like to say is a one percenter. This is the person that puts their life on the line, he or she. And what do I mean by that? These are your law enforcement. That could be local, that could be state, that could be federal. These are your emergency medical professionals. I like to say nurses, doctors, EMTs, paramedics. And yes, we have these jokes that we call people the hose beaters, but firefighters. Because I don't know about y'all. I don't know too many people who run into a burning daggone building. That takes a lot of courage. And for you brothers and sisters that are out there on the first line, some of y'all know I've been in the community for, since 2010. And then, obviously, our military personnel. Now, I have over 23 years in the military between the Marine Corps and the Army. And I'm just getting back from doing some reserve duty. So I'm saying all that to say that, I'm looking out for those people who serve. A lot of financial advisors, a lot of people in my industry who've never served a day in their life, they always are willing to say, thank you for your service. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But in your mind, you're like, I wish another person would not tell me that. Because, when we were going through boot camp or basic or whatever the initial training was, we were not thinking about we were putting our lives on the line. We were thinking about opportunities to advance ourselves, whether it be to go to school or whether it was to get a better start in life. Like, I can tell you, with me, I joined the Marine Corps in 1989. I did, I want to say it was simultaneous membership program. I think that's the name of it. And I actually joined during my either late junior or beginning of the senior year in high school, because I needed to figure out how to go to college. Both my parents had went to college, and this is not a slight on them. They hadn't saved any money for me to go to school. And a lot of people that I've been in the service with over the years, that was one of the very reasons why they joined the military. Or maybe they got a scholarship in ROTC, or maybe they got opportunity to, do one of the academies. And for some of y'all, maybe you went green to gold. Now, I went through OCS. I got out of the Marine Corps in 97, had a break in service about 13 years. And in 10, I went back in. I started out with the Army National Guard and switched to the Army Reserve. And both of them have their strengths and their weaknesses. Okay, remember, you want to do a SWOT analysis on whatever decision you decide to make in life, right? But I will say this. I've met some of the greatest people in the military. And I've met some of the most selfless service people, meaning willing to put their lives on the line between law enforcement and military. Now, I've worked with all type of people on all type of scenes. Firefighters, EMTs, doctors, you name it, nurses. They've even patched me up when I had situations. So I'm saying that to say that the financial first responder has been in the kitchen. And I keep saying I've been in the kitchen because a lot of you can't identify with tactical terms unless you are a first responder, military, or one of those people we talked about, right? You don't have a clue about what we do. And I know there's some people out there that talk about defund the police, and there are people out there that talk about they're wasting money and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't think there's bad apples in every line of work, you're crazy. You're delusional. There are bad people in every field, outright criminals. So I'm not agreeing that things shouldn't be transparent and shouldn't be above board. If you're racist, then you shouldn't be in law enforcement. But guess what? There's only one race. There's the human race. And we have to love and respect one another and have empathy for one another. Now, if that's not you, and that, some of y'all are going to cuss me out. Notice I haven't cussed nobody out. I don't have to use cuss words to explain or express myself. Thank God. But I do know this, as a first responder, we're there for one or two reasons. When a person needs us, or when they don't want us and somebody else needs us, or if they're just breaking the law. And for you people that think breaking the law is normal and that, hey, this is, what's the big deal? Everything has rules and boundaries. There's left and right limits to it, people. Just like your finances. Like, I don't know how many people think that, you can overspend and that people are not going to want their money. Because they are going to want their money. So, as an example, I'm riding, I'm talking to you. A commercial truck was riding in my lane, saw me getting over. I had my blinker. I slowed down to yield to him, and he moved over and yielded to me. There's rules to this thing. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like financially, there's rules. For investing, there's rules. For insurance, there's rules. For saving, there's rules. And yes, savings and investing are two different things. There's rules to all this stuff. And what I want to make sure is that my brothers and sisters, my sisters and brothers, those people who serve and have served and will serve, get the appropriate information so that they can continue to help their family members. Should they continue to work in their field? Should they become disabled? Should they die? Make sure that they have all the appropriate information to make proper decisions for their families. You see, as I was riding on the plane, I realized if this plane went down today, my family might be all right. They might not be all right without me, but they'd be all right financially. So if you can't make that type of decision or can't fathom that, every time you get into a car and go from point A to point B, that's a gift. Every time you wake up out your bed and can put your feet on the ground and walk to the bathroom to use the bathroom, that's a gift. The fact that you have food to eat in your refrigerator, that's a gift. The fact that you can take a vacation, that's a gift. But the financial first responder wants you to do more than just have these gifts. He wants you to be able to give back and be able to give it more abundantly. But see, a lot of times what happens is we're so consumed with ourselves, we don't think about anybody else but ourselves. So I'm going to challenge you moving forward in the weeks coming where we're gonna do some amazing things as first responders. We're gonna shake the world up. We're gonna make them feel like, wow, if they can humble themselves and do some things like that, what could I do in my community? Because the world only gets better when we as a community, get better. And I was talking about these politicians, and I got family members that are politicians, and they're good people, but there are some bad ones. Don't get me wrong. But what I would say is this: if you're only relying on the national level during voting season to make a difference in America, you are a fish-eyed fool. Yes, I quoted Esther from Sanford and Son. If you haven't ever seen it, you might want to go see it. It's funny. Red Fox was hilarious. Now, I'm dating my age here, but it starts with the local level, people. If you don't think your local politicians are making the decisions that affect you the most, you're crazy. You know, I thank my frat brother, Reggie Bowie, about this. Reggie actually was on several boards on the local county in North Carolina, and he expressed how companies would come in and say they were doing affordable housing, and then when you look at what they were doing, it wasn't really affordable. It was for people who had money, but they used the example of affordable housing. And I quote him, as he said, affordable to who? If our county is making X and these houses are Y, how can they afford it? You see, it took somebody like Reggie to basically say, hey, enough's enough. And you got to actually go out and support your local politicians, because those are the ones that are fighting for you. Now, I mean, you may, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, it don't matter. If you're not doing anything on the local level, you are fooled that these people really care about you. I don't care what they say. Because the last time I checked, they're not coming to your house to make sure you got food and groceries in your house. They're not checking on your local taxes. Matter of fact, they're not even talking about salt. And some of y'all don't even know what salt is. It's the state and local tax. That's what it stands for. And how you could, back in the day, not too long ago, write it off. Now, there was one candidate that talked about it, but I'm quite sure they were just trying to drum up votes. The question is if it's a state and local thing, you start with the state and local, and then it becomes federal, right? So, you know, as military personnel, law enforcement, especially military, those people that serve, honestly, if the municipalities don't want to pay people to serve, then they should be giving them some type of reduced rates. Yeah, we have the Officer Next Door program and some other programs out there, but they don't publicize that. There's a shortage in our community, and everybody knows it. If you don't know it, you're an idiot, because we have obviously way more people that we serve than people who are actually volunteering to serve. So I'm just saying, people, like, you really need to focus on what is going on in America locally. You know, whether or not your trash gets picked up, or you get recycled, or you do composting, all that stuff's important. Whether or not they build roads and schools in your community. And let's not start about this school thing, because honestly, I actually think that school could be done in 4 to 6 hours, probably 4. We're wasting these kids, these children, because none of them are baby goats. We're wasting their time. And see, while I'm on this point, schools were designed to make you better employees. And a lot of you are on this daggone 40-40 plan, which means you work 40 hours a week for 40 years, and then you expect to have more in life than what you have. Understand this. When you're an entrepreneur, your job is to keep people employed. It's also your job to keep your customers happy. It's also your job to basically make sure you provide a service or a product that is something that people could use, that's beneficial for them. Now, the problem we have is that a lot of you buy stuff or use stuff that you have really no use for because you don't think about it and you don't manage your money right. And as a result, you're always behind the 8 ball. There's no such thing as a money problem. It's a money management problem. I got that from my pastor. Shout out to Reverend John K. Jenkins Sr. of First Baptist Church of Glenarden. Because that pastor right there be telling the truth. Now, whether or not you believe that, talk to your pastor. But I can tell you, more prayers have been over eating habits and finances than anything else. More marriages have been broken up because of finances. So if you had to look at everything that broke up a family, it's usually money, children, infidelity. It's a whole bunch of different things you can equate it to. However, it's normally dealing with money. Most people's health challenges are dealing with their food choices or their drinking or their smoking or whatever it is. It's gluttony. It's funny how God put all this stuff in the Bible, but y'all think that, if you get a certain shot or you get this, then it's going to solve your problem. Not if you don't change your habits. So with that said, I talked for about 5 minutes in the airport this morning. Now I seem like I'm ranting and raving because I want you to understand that. Sorry, I can't take this call right now. I want you to understand that you can change your future. You can change. You. Y-O-U. Not a female sheep, by the way. Some of y'all will get that in a minute. A you is a female sheep. All I'm saying to you guys is this. If you want to have better, you must do better. One of my mentors, Dr. Myron Golden, and I'm going to end with this. Be, do, have. You must become. You must do. And then you can have. To become means you have to study to get better. To do means you have to take action. And eventually you will have what you want because you prepped for it and you did the work for it. Provided it's meant for you. Now, I'm glad I had a chance to talk to you guys while I was driving. And take this for a piece of advice. You shouldn't do this, but I just had so much on my brain that I was thinking about that I wanted to get out to you guys. And so today, you're getting 2 videos on YouTube about life and having it more abundantly. Look, this is Mike Barnes, the Financial First Responder. Please like and subscribe my channel. Share this with someone. Maybe they'll change their life or maybe not, But I look forward to talking to you. Have a great day. It's raining here in Maryland. And God bless. Peace and blessings.